We only use it on one side. Yes. I got
Yeah. Mutiny donuts. This is what I do. You want to know how this works? Look at that.
No, you're good. That's why.
Yeah. This is it. Right here.
It's time to literally taste the good life. Your Pratt Pack, Joey Disalvo. We met each other halfway, logged a lot of miles today, but I can't think of a better place to be to wrap up a very festive day. So, Mr. Disalvo, tell them where we are.
I tell you what, we're the great colleagues that has an outstanding facility called Vangura. They are the top leading experts in granite, marble, and they do such a great job. And we're in their beautiful showcase deep in the heart of North Huntington, Norwin area.
Came through Forest Hills, one of my favorite places, Ardmore Boulevard, places that I know, George Westinghouse Bridge, beautiful scenery and a lovely drive, and I couldn't be more happy to be here. So what are you going to do tonight here?
Well, I tell you what, I'm here and I'm honored to be here with Vangura that's given us the opportunity with a great colleague of mine, Derek Krystal, who happens to be the professor and chef instructor at the Vocational School of Westmoreland County, and he's bringing his unique Cajun talents tonight to Vangura, and it asked me if I would come and assist him in pairing some great wines from Italy with his wonderful Cajun cuisine tonight. And I said yes.
I don't have to say much. I just get him going and he's up and running. Tell everybody about your wine, your brand.
Well, we're blessed. Good Life Wine and Spirit Importers started and was founded in 2010, and we've been blessed for over 15 years to bring some of the finest Italian wines from, there are 20 regions in Italy, over 10 regions that we represent, of indigenous varietals that you cannot find in the state store system in Pennsylvania, but licensed by the Pennsylvania Limited Winery License. So very exclusive, and you can purchase these at all of our fellow restaurants, country clubs, hotels, and individual stores by Good Life Wine and Spirits. And if you go to our website, goodlifewines.com, you will find all those great locations that you will find some of these world-class Italian wines, second to none, and highly rated.
This place is a showpiece. It is amazing. Very unassuming. You come through the gates, you park, and you walk in. Obviously, their factory is here as well. And it's like behind the looking glass. It's absolutely magical. Why do you think places like this are so successful? Because I simply say it's familiar, it's family, it's food. And people, as we did when we were young, they're still doing it today. They spend all their time in the kitchen, and these people can make the magic happen.
Well, I tell you what, this family, Vangura, has been around since the early 70s, and they've done a great job. I mean, you come here.
Come here, Krista. Get in here. Have a
very
seat.
unique.
Come on.
It's a family-oriented business, and we're blessed to be here today, showcasing culinary and great wines from around the world in Krystal's wonderful, wonderful showroom, and showcasing her wonderful products that are second to none. Krystal, maybe you could tell us about it.
Well, I mean, welcome to the kitchen for you guys who haven't been here yet. We're going to do cooking classes, private parties, team building. We're doing a chef's dinner tonight, wine tasting, wine pairing, wine tasting classes, wine education series, which we've got to talk about.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But yeah, so during the day we make countertops. So we needed space to show countertops, but then we thought, well, what else could we do with it? And I always told my husband, I want a restaurant. He kept looking at me going, Krystal, you do not want a restaurant. All right, how about a venue? Okay, we can do that. So here we are.
Listen, it's all about the countertops. That's where it all starts. That's where all the preparing, the food, the gathering, putting your elbows to rest after a long day, enjoying a nice glass of wine. This is such a craft. This is such a gift to have that ability to do this. And you know, we being Italian, him much more than me, some of the great trades that have come from the old country, one of them, countertops, marble.
Yeah.
Talk about that aspect of who you are and why it's such a big part of what you do.
We started making countertops in 1971 out of my grandpa's iron shop next to Kennywood. They made ornamental iron railings, and this kind of grew out of that, making all wood-based things. So most of our countertops are actually wood-based. Our true res, our Korean types, things like that. But then we went into stone in the mid-90s when that became popular. And that brought this whole element of like the culinary community and everything, because we're now building these gourmet kitchens instead of just these ones that you used, and it got to be more and more fun. So we started to get more and more creative. And so that's kind of how we landed here.
I've said for the longest time, these influencers, and I'm kind of one, social media, I have a number of platforms. Obviously, I do the Coons Cooking Show on KDK Radio. This guy was doing it long before any of these folks who are really lighting up the world as far as on YouTube and X and on Facebook and obviously TikTok. Joey, people love to cook, but they love to video what they're cooking. I sit at home at night before I go on the radio early in the morning on the weekends and scroll and look. Krista, why are we so fascinated by cooking? And I've done a cooking show for 20 plus years, and I'm not much of a cook, but I'm fascinated by it. Why?
Well, I tell you what, not to be funny, but I thought it was a prison sentence in the restaurant business. I thought I was a jailmate going into prison. That's not true. Only in that the passion of one's family, like Krystal's family, and doing what they do best. That's what my family did coming to this country, bringing their culinary talents to America via the restaurant world. And I was blessed to do that, as we've talked a zillion times, Rob, on the air, on TV. And it's just you have to segregate yourself. And I, at this moment, in this wonderful facility, and I'm not just saying that, this showroom is second to none. And I've been all over the world in the best wineries underground that have been Castellos and Tenutas all over Italy, underground. You're almost like you're in an 18th century stone and the world-class look that's a warm and passionate cultural look in this facility that you would never believe. And it's here in Western Pennsylvania, here in North Huntington, Irwin, Norwin area. And it's for me, being an actor as a culinarian, it's like being on the best stage in the world, and all the tools and the best table to put your beautiful product and beautiful food on, and wine.
It's all about the destination point, and that's what they are here. People can come, they can learn, and they can obviously get some of this stuff installed in their place of business or home. This just must make you so happy to see people want to gather at this location to prepare food, enjoy it, but also to show what really put your name on the planet, right?
Absolutely. I like people more than anything.
Oh,
and so that's what this is all about. You know, getting out and working with different things. It's always fun. I don't know. This is always fun for me. It's not work. It's fun. You know, that's what we're doing.
Fun. All right, listen, before I head back home, I want to thank you for your hospitality. Tell them again what you're doing here tonight and what you do all the time, whether it's here tonight and obviously the countertop.
Well, go ahead. I'll let you do tonight.
Well, tonight's going to be a great of Good Life Wines, fine wines from the Abruzzo region of Italy, from the Colafrizio winery, coupled and paired with Chef Fritzl's wonderful Cajun cuisine, just a taste of his culinary talents that he's bringing Louisiana to Western PA with Italian wines, because New Orleans was composed of 7 different nations, and Italy was one of them. So we're matching great, great, great food with a beautiful pairing of great juice from Italy.
And it also happens to be Columbus Day weekend, the big parade in Bloomfield tomorrow. It all fits. Now, tell everybody about the business.
If you're looking for the cooking classes, you can go to the Kitchen by Vangura, Vangura. That'll have all of the upcoming classes, anything that you want to. There's hands-on cooking classes, wine tasting, chef's demos like tonight where you just eat. And if you're looking for countertops, that's Vangura.com. So we can go either way, whatever you're looking for, but that's what we're doing most evenings, during the day, all the time now.
Are you just tell our listeners, are you just doing a stone? Because I know you manufacture it here and prepare it, but what other items do you
good Lord.
offer to the kitchen?
Just for countertops, so you're doing the True Res, which is your wood-based product. That's your form product. You've got acrylics like Corian. You've got their natural butcher blocks. You've got metals. You've got stones, the granites, the quartzites, the natural stones, the man-made stones like the quartzes. Just about anything you can make a countertop out of, we make.
Well, that's what these
All
listeners.
right, you can sit here and enjoy, because this is something him and I are famous for, as is his family. The real reason I wanted to hook up with him, because they do it biannually, and it is the fall edition, just days away, October 24th. We'll talk about the charity, talk about the Taste of Good Life, the whole history behind it, and of course, we're talking about the historic landmark that is Disalvo Station in Latrobe. It's all yours.
Well, like always, Rob, I want to thank you first and foremost that you've been a true pioneer to the voice of KDK, but not only the voice of KDK, of the Good Life, for celebrating our fall of 30 years. So I can't thank you enough. So kudos to you and the whole team of your fine operation to let Western Pennsylvania and the tri-state area know of the biggest food, wine, cigar charity gala like no other. The best of food, the best of wine and spirits, the world's finest cigars, hand rolled that night, live entertainment, all showcased in the 1903 historic landmark train station of Latrobe, Pennsylvania. And my family is honored to be doing this for 30 years biannually, and it's just exploded. We'll have a record crowd of close to 400 people, dining, wining, sharing, and caring, but giving back to a great cause, which is the Latrobe Child Safety Program for the Latrobe School District, which is the fall beneficiary. And our superintendent, kudos to him, that's so passionate about the teacher safety, the child safety, everybody's safety in the community of Latrobe. Mr. Michael Paremka, who's doing an outstanding job, not only for the school district, but for the whole community of Eastern Westmoreland County. So please, there's still tickets available, goodlifewines.com, or you could go to tastethegoodlife.org to purchase your tickets. So please, come and join us. Again, sharing is caring. I want to thank this young lady for hosting us today, for us to showcase our knowledge, our talent, to the great people that truly appreciate everything we're doing tonight. So thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. Let me just ask you a couple of quick questions while I'm thinking about all this stuff. So we do the Coons Cooking Show, and I hope that all of the food that you will use on the countertops that you purchase from them and learn how to prepare because of his knowledge, enjoying his wine at the same time, will be Coons Quality Foods, 8 great locations. Jody Zima is the CEO, obviously brother Frank, sister Patrice, son Joey, that entire organization, our wonderful employees carrying on the name of the late, great Joe Dentisi, our beloved leader for so many years. And he loved sitting down to dinner, always talked about why food is so important, why it's extremely important for families to eat together because they stay together and that time that you spend at the end of a long day. But it's always been about the preparation, Joey. It's about taking time, even if it's an hour or two. Look, we've got air fryers, we've got microwaves, but sometimes you got to use the oven and you got to preheat it at 375 to really get the experience. When you look at all of the meals that are out there, with all due respect, why is it this Columbus Day weekend when I think comfort food, even though some sauerkraut and mashed potatoes is nice this time of year, there's nothing like a big plate of pasta and some red sauce and some just juicy meatballs. Why does that still work?
Well, I tell you what, it's about the Italian culture in Western Pennsylvania. There's history, there's tradition, and let alone if you come to a beautiful setting, you back in the old days in the 50s and 60s, we were eating on butcher blocks and all broken down tables when my family came because they didn't have money to get the fine granite like we're here today. So it's just a cultural thing. And Western Pennsylvania is truly a melting pot of the best of all the ethnic, the Italian, the Irish, the Polish, the Czechoslovakian. What else? All the Polish, all the wonderful people in the Mexican, and truly, Pittsburgh has really come together as one of the most sweetest and most giving areas in the country, especially when times are tough. And when times are tough, you got to do what you got to do, and whether you're eating pasta or eating filet mignon, it's bringing people to the table because it's the family tradition.
Absolutely. So I got to leave you with this. A friend of mine of Italian heritage, kind of like you, gave his whole business and life the total concentration needed every waking moment. He graduates from college, Geneva College, with a teaching degree. He becomes a teacher in the local school district. He's working in his father's tavern at night. One day, his father at the kitchen table just couldn't get up. He had done his life's work. His legs just wouldn't work anymore. So he went into that tavern, which was connected to their house, and spent the next 30 years of his life, morning, noon, and night. But the stories that he would tell me late at night after I would have a long night at work and I would go over for a bag of peanuts and a cold beer and just chat with him, they would make polenta and they would have it on the table.
On the table.
First off, I want you to tell me what polenta is. And he told me, but I had forgot many years ago in another life and another time. And instead of getting out plates or anything, that counter, that surface, that table was their plate, and they would just all together eat till they got to the middle and eat till there was no more. So polenta, what is it and the significance of it?
Simply put, cornmeal. Cornmeal cooked with water.
Come on.
And there's so many recipes, but the basic cornmeal is just like eating hot cereal. You add water, you can add.
Don't tell me it's cream of wheat now.
It's in the same family.
No sauce?
But wait, there's many types. This is just the base.
Okay.
And then when you get very creative, you can add an array of from being plain, and you could just have butter on it, and a little bit of salt, to putting fresh Reggio Parmigiano and Pecorino Romano cheese on top. Pancetta. You can mix greens, collard greens. You could take polenta from the south and use all the indigenous ingredients like we're doing tonight from Louisiana that's grown, or you can come to Western Pennsylvania and you could do roasted peppers in with the polenta and sun-dried tomatoes. And I mean, there's the plethora of whatever the poor food of today is now delicacies on granite tables. I mean,
yes.
You can pay an arm and leg because no one's doing it, and people remember once when. And now you bring back that memory, and it costs that memory because that recipe came from generations. But every little chef does a little doctor. You could do a soft polenta. You could do a grilled polenta. You could do a million ways of doing polenta, and let alone the ingredients you put to that, or caramelized grape provolone cheese on top. I mean, second to none.
Their countertops have never met a rolling pin that they didn't like, right? Absolutely.
I did my first polenta table a couple weeks ago.
You did?
I did. I didn't cook it. I just ate it.
So what made you even want to dive in on that?
And someone else did it. I didn't know that's what we were doing.
And you just were all in.
I just went right for that. But yeah, someone else did it. Long story, but yeah, I did my first one just recently.
So what are some of the foods that you love? Obviously, being Czechoslovakian, you got to have some comfort food there. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness. My son, he's sitting there watching us, but he always complains that our house is an ingredient house. Like everything in there, you have to make it. It's not just sitting there ready to eat. So we cook a lot. I don't know if I have anything that's go-to. I'm notorious for standing in front of the refrigerator and being like, all right, I can make a meal out of, what do I have in here? And putting something together. But he does. He gets so frustrated. He's like, we're an ingredient house. So, I can't just microwave something. There's nothing here.
A mutual friend of ours used to say to me all the time, I'm so hungry, I feel as though this is my final meal. What would you eat if you were going to the electric chair? And I think about that late at night. What would my last meal be? And I got to be honest with you. I'd be honored if it was you or your father that would prepare it. But I love pizza. I mean, as trivial as it may sound, I don't care if it's chicken cordon bleu, it can be lobster thermidor, you can give me any of the high-end 5-star stuff out there, but it comes down to Sicilian pizza, Joey. Why is that so comforting? Is it because what my mother used to do when I was a kid, and now 50 years later, I still dare to dream that she's in the kitchen making that pizza on that old crusty cookie sheet?
It's called carbohydrates, and then go further, it's called sugar. We as humans have dietary issues. Pizza is a world catch-all. I just came back from Italy. I was there at the end of August till September, and everywhere you go, the finest dining places to the seashore, by the best seafood restaurants, there's always either bruschetta, fresh bread, or some type of pizza. Starter as an appetizer, of course, everywhere. It's the world's favorite food, let alone Italian being the #1 category in the world of foods. Everybody loves it.
But think of this, though, with it. We just did a show because it was National Noodle Day. And how noodles, when you look at the big picture, you can involve Asian cuisine. Obviously, we talk about Italian. Marco Polo, obviously, many people believe brought pasta from China. So it really is. Noodles and pasta is much more than Italy, but it is a global phenomenon. There's probably nowhere on the planet that you can't go. I was talking to a gentleman the other day about, he was thinking about opening up a Vietnamese noodle restaurant, kind of like a counter type of thing. And I thought, boy, that's ingenious. So there's always something you can do with noodles.
Absolutely. So flexible, and just so many different opportunities using all the other ingredients to complement the carbohydrate, the starch. Just like risotto, polenta, spaghetti.
Oh, absolutely love it. Before I let you go, thank you so much for letting me do this tonight. We did it kind of like on a whim. I wanted to catch him before he heads back to Latrobe and I head back to Beaver County. But I really hope people will buy into what they're doing here, because
The joy is top.
it is. And it jumps, it sparkles, it'll make things stand out. But more importantly, it'll gravitate those people that you love so much and make them sit around the table and share memories and create memories. Because in the end, whether it's Guy or Rita Disalvo or their young son, Joey, or where I come from, it will always be about family. Family first, with a little bit of faith and some countertops and great food. You're good to go. It's your Pratt Pack. Taste a Good Life, October 24th. Tell them how they can get tickets.
www.tastethegoodlife.org. Buy your tickets now online. Tell a friend, bring a friend. We love you.
Ciao. Good night.